Hi, we're here down in Los Angeles at the Day of the Dead celebration, and we're in the shop with Mr. Jackie Hadnot, and he's right here to my right. And his shop is called the Wooden Iron Horses. Also, check him out on social media. He's been around for a minute, but he's into social media. And I want to introduce Mr. Hadnot right here. I asked him if that was really his name, Hadnot. He said, yes, it is. So, Mr. Hadnot, it's a pleasure meeting you. I want you to just tell a little bit about how you got started. And you mentioned earlier about the cross. Yeah. And your name, he's like the third one to have his name on there. So he's a historical figure already. At such a very young age, you can see that he's a very young man. Anyway, so tell us how you got started in this.
Well, we were born and raised right there in the Santa Clarita Valley. And I was always into creating art at an early age. At 5 years old, I was actually drawing cartoons, and I had a line waiting on me, and I was getting paid to do that at that time. And then when I was coming up from 5 to 14 years old, I would always run out for the horn of the train.
And
I was fascinated in the trains itself. And I remember that my mom would be standing out there with me, and she says, Jack, at 3 years old, she goes, you got to stop doing that, because she goes that you're going to end up stopping a freight train one day. And I remember she was standing out there about 2 years later, and she says, Jack, one of the engineers had came through there, and he was slowing up a freight train. And she goes, she looked at me, she goes, see, Jack, you're finally stopping a freight train. And she goes, I want to let you know, Jack, we're in a whole lot of trouble. We're in a whole lot of trouble, Jack. So I ran up to my mom, and I put my nose right into my mom's left knee. And I was standing with my back against the track, and my mom was standing there with her hand on the top of my head and waiting to hear what the engineer is going to say. And that's when the engineer came through there, and he drifted the train, and he yelled down to my mom. He goes, that little fella right there never can get enough of the horn. And my mom looked at him, and she had her hand on my head, and she goes, I guess not. And that's when I heard the engineer goes, well, go for it, fella. And when he said that, I kind of jumped up and twisted around, and I started giving him the symbol of the horn, or for him to blow the horn. And I remember him, as he was drifting by, looking in the rearview mirror of the train, giving me the 2 thumbs up. And at that point, he must have went back after that and told all the engineers that ran that route who I was. And from that point on, every time they would see me from a distance coming through the 2 hills, they would give me the extra blinking light. But they knew what I wanted. When they got up to that railroad crossing, they were giving me as much horn as I could dance to. And believe me, I was dancing to Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, and Magic Mountain.
Now, Mr. Hadnot told me earlier he can talk, and you can very well see that. But I want you to notice on his apron here, he has his initials, and I'm assuming you made this apron.
Yeah,
for
in
yourself.
fact, my brother had this special made for me.
Oh, cool. And right here in front of us, we have a wonderful work of art. It's called Estados Unidos Mexicanos. And is this some of your carving
This
here
is
as well?
This is going to be my latest one, and this is going to be carved out and to be a wall piece. And it's going to end up going down to Houston, Texas, and I did a carving of the queso from Guatemala, and it's going to hang up alongside the wall down there.
Oh, wow.
But mainly what I carve, you guys, is all these trains. And that's what
come
I'm
over
going
here.
for.
Let's talk about the train. I mean, I was fascinated in seeing that. Come over here and bring the train. Tell us about this.
And this one here is the most important part of the train movement, was the Transcontinental Railroad. This one actually taken me almost 6 months to carve out. This might end up going up to the historical site on a permanent collection.
Really? Here
And
in Los Angeles?
It'll be there in Utah.
Oh, Utah. How did they commission you from?
Oh, they didn't. A lot of times I'll do my art, and I'm doing a storyboard of the history of railroads. And my main goal, I would like to see all of my art go in a public place on a permanent collection. That way I know it'll well be taken care of and shared. And I get a lot of artists that comes in here, and they'll either write books or different mixed medias, and they say, Jack, we have our day jobs, but we cannot wait to get back home and continue doing our day jobs, where it gets good energy from in here and a good vibe to go back home
Now,
and continue doing what you're doing.
What do these numbers mean? You have
The 119
and the 60.
is the Union Pacific that came from the east.
Okay.
And the 60 is the Central Pacific Railroad that came from the west.
Oh.
And that's when they joined it, and they came up and they put a golden spike right in between the 2 engines right here. Those gold spikes is out in museums right now today. But this is the most important part of the train movement, is that Transcontinental Railroad.
Listen, Mr. Jackie Hadnot. It's also on social media. I see your handle is at Wood Iron Horses on Instagram, and I'm assuming you're also on Facebook. So we're gonna actually tag you. We're gonna be putting this up, and we're gonna tag you. Let's see.
And also to keep in mind, if you guys ever come out to Olivera Street here in downtown, right across from the Union Station, I was the third one in history that ever carved the main cross. So when you see that cross that's out there in front, you'll know who did it.
That cross is right out here.
It's right out in front. If you're standing direct in front of the cross and you look to the left, against the restaurant wall, they mounted my name there on the plaque.
Cool. All right, you got some people here, so I want you to entertain them. We're just gonna take some pictures of the other trains over here on our left.
Okay, and I want you guys to enjoy it.
It's amazing to see your work. The Train of the Stars.
This one here was a piece that I needed to carve out, and it took me 9 months. I had to hustle with it because it had to show at the Union Station for their 75th anniversary. Then it just came out of the History Museum in Pasadena for 5 months. And that was the most important part of the train movement. I mean, not most important, that was the most famous passenger train that ever run out of the Union Station for 35 years. Well known by the war bond color, the red, the silver, and the yellow. This train, a lot of movie stars would have boarded at the Delmar station in Pasadena. The reason being, it was less traffic to bother them for autographs, and that's the reason why they would have boarded from that station.
And also on your wall, you have various...
These is more different types of wall pieces. They're more showpieces than anything. One of the first trains that ever come out of Los Angeles was this one up here. It was the, if I can remember the wheelbase, was the 220.
Okay. Well, there you have it. This has been quite...
And this piece you guys don't get to see right here is a piece of teak wood. This is going to be the Air Jordan that's going to Michael Jordan's home.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
I'm having fun, you guys.
Well, you know what, Mr. Handout, I'm going to give you my handout. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
And I love your work. I mean, it's amazing what you're doing here, and I'm glad to hear of your history. We're definitely going to check out that cross.
Well, you guys is what motivates me to keep pushing it, because how could I not put all of this stuff in a public place? When I get a lot of artists that come in and say, Jack, we can't wait to get back home to continue doing whatever we're doing, or we got a scholarship and we can't wait to take that test to become the best architect that we can be. That says it lifted their spirit, and how could I not? Sometimes we're given a gift, but sometimes we need to give back.
There you go.
And I'm getting to hear that before I even get it in a public place on a permanent collection. And what a gift that was given back to me.
Mr. Jacket is truly an inspiration and motivation for the young and the old. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing with us, and Godspeed be with you, and keep having fun.
And I got one last one to share with you, and I want to thank you for that.
Okay.
Is everybody out there that ever heard me, always remember, if you're ever out there and you see me moving up as an artist, you guys better all come say hi. But important, I better know you. So if you're ever down by the marina and you see a yacht going through there, and there's Jack standing up there in the window with a lobster stick in his mouth, you guys better yell from the shore, hey Jack, and I better turn that ship around, and you better be aboard there having them lobster sticks too.
All right, high five on that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. There you have it.
Thank you.
Mr. Handout.
I'm having fun.